Hey everyone, John Henry here, and today in the market psychology video, we're going to be taking a look at the S&P on this relatively weak bull trend that we have starting to form here, and we may end up turning into a range if the buyers don't start picking up. We had an overall small gap down. In the grand scheme of things, wasn't a very big gap down. Yesterday was a heavy bear move at the end of the day, but with a nice rally towards the end, probably profit taking from the sellers, etc. But we opened up gap down just above that prior low of day. Now, with that gap above the prior low of day, we see the sellers immediately follow up with an attempt to break out. Very bearish first candle of the morning, trying to drive the market down. All they managed to do is close outside of it, get triggered in, and then immediately get stopped out when the buyers form a huge bull engulfing candle. This is why it's really tough, as we always say, to be the first one to the party. You're usually better waiting for the second, folks. So we have this big run higher here now. Bears are essentially nullified. They have no emphasis anymore. So we know the sellers are probably stuck, and we know that buyers are buying into pretty much everything, given that this last bull candle was massively engulfing. So they break higher. We get a little bit of a pullback here. We want to see if the sellers are going to take it off the highs. Are they going to drive it back through the lows and we end up as a range? Or are we going to take it higher? Buyers force the market back up, show us a nice strong continuation move off of this initial buy. So we know that we're looking for a second leg up and a beautiful run higher for probably the gap fill, right, where we ended yesterday, but at least back to where the last bear drop from the day prior happened, which is going to be back here. And notice where all of that resistance came in, right? So we know that that's the objective for the buyers, so we can buy into that level, and it continues up, and it hits that level right there. And we get stuck there for a little bit. Now, that's always a little bit of a concern when you get stuck on a level. And given that, it's not that strong of a bull trend, we're beginning to form a slight bull channel working up, maybe a wedge. We're not really seeing either side continue. So we need a little more information. The sellers try breaking down, very heavy bear candle, and they can't even continue it with one more tick. They can't even get one more tick underneath that heavy bear candle before the buyers slam it right back higher again. That is a huge clue that the sellers just failed to break out of a wedge, and we should be looking for the long side. Very likely now, the buyers are not only looking to fill the gap up here, but they could be looking for a little bit more, right? They could be looking for that gap, the wedge objective right around where this point meets. And that is exactly where they went. So we're looking to buy into this beautiful bull candle, nullifying the sell breakout attempt. The sellers give it one more shot right down here. They fail, turn back up in another beautiful bull candle. This was actually the trade of the day, driving the market back up into that objective point right at the high. So just a gorgeous run higher, forming what would really be considered a weak bull trend. This is definitely not a strong bull trend by any means. We may be widening out into a larger channel, something along those lines, but either way you can see there's a lot of grind back and forth. And a lot of times when you get this, it's going to end up being more of a range. It wouldn't be a surprise to see it come back to the lows, see the buyers fade off the lows, and then we just start rotating back and forth. But it's a beautiful example of combining both technical analysis and market psychology to figure out what in the world is going on in this S&P, and we were able to pick up some nice opportunities. So that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you found it useful, hopefully you found it interesting, and you learned something, and we'll see you next time.